So Darren, one of the questions that I get often in the market that we're in is from folks that say, Chris, I'd like to buy. There's some inventory that we have interest in, but we have to sell our home. And we have some work. We have some things we need to do, and we're not in a position to do that. So we're just going to have to wait. So what I like to hear from folks in the know like yourself, there's a lot of creative options that a lot of people don't know about that can allow them to drop contingencies and have a more compelling offer, have better strength and leverage when they're making an offer on a property. And perhaps they don't have to sell like they think they may have to sell. Is that fair?
Absolutely. We actually, in my office, we've done a good number of these, probably 17 to 20 transactions in the last 90 days on this particular product.
Okay, right.
Someone who needs to make an offer, but it's contingent on their home selling, they've got to negotiate tougher, because if you've got a buyer without a contingency offer, someone with, of course you're going to.
Absolutely.
I would.
If the other terms are in line, yes.
Absolutely. So we have an opportunity where we can come in, and I've got a third party that can come in and do a non-contingent offer to buy their home.
Okay.
That removes that debt from their debt load. So now they can qualify for the new home prior to selling their old home. Now, a lot of people need cash out or the equity pool to put as a down payment. Right. So our play is we can actually do an interest-free bridge loan up to 4 months. So what we'll do is we'll remove the contingency. They can buy the house. We can give them an interest-free bridge loan up to 4 months. Their house, we want them to sell their home. And when they sell their home, they pay the interest-free bridge loan back, and they're able to buy.
Wow.
If you got a buyer that's having trouble getting their offer approved because of contingencies, et cetera, I would love to get as an option for your buyers. Let's get together. Let me work with them. Let me get their file completely underwritten. Now they are subject to title and appraisal. What's another buyer subject to title and appraisal? A cash offer.
Yeah.
So we can take someone, you and I can take one of these buyers who needs to make a contingent offer. We can remove the contingency. We can get their file completely underwritten. And when we make an offer, I will be glad to call that listing agent and saying, look, this deal is subject to title and appraisal.
Yeah.
So we can put that buyer in a total different opportunity to negotiate. That's powerful.
And that's going to be all more powerful because as the market warms up naturally, that spring market, like we've talked about before, and if rates continue to come down, like it seems like they're trending, I feel like we're going to get into a frenzy situation again, which we love for our sellers. Like we absolutely love that market for our sellers. We didn't love it for our buyers because they made numerous offers before they were able to connect on the right property. They were waiving inspections. They were waiving appraisal. They were giving up all this leverage that in the market we have right now, we have. Okay. So I love hearing that when we get into a market like that, there are tools and resources that are available, programs through good lenders like yourself that can help navigate that for people and help give them some of that power back in that market that if they can't do cash, as most people can't, if they can't do cash, that's as good as cash.
Absolutely. And I have another thought. If you were going to invest $500,000 into the stock market, would you not sit down and speak to the financial advisor, or would you just throw the money to them? You would want to sit down and come out with a plan. It blows my mind that people, they try to buy a house, they just throw an offer, and they never sit down with their lender to come up with a plan.
Right.
And that's a $500,000 transaction. It's more when you pay the interest back. It's like $1 million transaction. If these buyers would just pause, sit down with us, I will be glad to sit down with you. We look at the price range they're looking at. We come up with a game plan and get them in position to negotiate the best. And it's better for the sellers. It's better for everyone. So I would love to spend time, and it costs nothing to sit down in my office and talk.
Well, having folks like yourself that I can trust, Darren, that you've been doing this long enough and you have the heart of a teacher, you take the time to really explain, not just to first-time home buyers, for instance, who need it, but for folks that are financially savvy that have really never had a lender explain par rate and all the different things that go into the finances. People are so conditioned that they just think of the interest rate, and that's the only part of the picture that they're focused on. When they're working with someone like you take the time to show them the ins and outs and the pros and cons of the programs and loan options that they have available, and you really educate them. Mm-hmm. And then they make the best decision for themselves in that situation. And I love that about you. I love that in our partnership and working together. It works very well.
I closed 3 transactions last month where I actually slowed up. I called their financial advisor. The financial advisor and I and the buyer got on a call and we talked about it. Why would you not have your 2 coaches together talking about your game plan?
It's a great point.